Hi Hill Group, Bill Greenberg with PhoneScholar.com. It is Tuesday, May 11th, 2010, and some interesting stuff going on. I'm going to have to read a little bit more today because this stuff is a little more technical, but I won't read it all, obviously, but you can read the article, some pretty good stuff. There's been a lot of talk, obviously. Last week I talked about the rumors about the iPhone going over to Verizon, and they have finally confirmed that Apple and AT&T did sign a 5-year iPhone exclusivity deal. The question is it still valid? Now, in 2007, they have confirmed that Apple did file court documents in California for this. However, there was also a class action lawsuit that was filed pretty much right at the same time, claiming that Apple and AT&T illegally entered into a monopoly over iPhone service because they told customers that the iPhone's required service contract was 2 years, not 5. Thus, I guess, I don't know all the details to this, but it sounds like then they told the customers that if they still want to continue iPhone service, instead of going to another carrier, they had to re-up for 3 years. So now this is what the lawsuit claims. This is not saying this is what they did. This is what the class action lawsuit claims, which we all know is probably going to go on for years. But it's really kind of black and white. There were some quotes that the lawyers from Apple put out. AT&T has exclusive U.S. distribution rights for 5 years and eternity in the go-go cell phone world. So not necessarily an exclusivity for that, but the distribution rights to, I guess, move it or sell it. I have no idea what that means. There was widespread disclosures of AT&T's 5-year exclusivity and no suggestion by Apple or anyone else that the iPhones would become unlocked after 2 years. Stuff like that. Now, this all went down, the lawyers and everything went down in October of 2008, so almost a year afterwards. And so there's still no way of knowing 100% if this has been revisited, because there is so much rumor talk with the Verizon, because think about it, you're talking about now 2012 that anyone else would have the ability to do that, and they're already talking about possibly something for next year. They say that Apple probably, based on the original agreement, probably has a lot of outs, so to speak, because AT&T spotty service and the server going down, and they also know that there was some stuff when the iPad came out, so who knows if they revisited then. So this is just another follow-up. There is a class action lawsuit going, but it was confirmed there was a 5-year exclusivity in 2007 through 2012, but of course nobody knows if there's been any back-end deals since then. So there you go. That resolves all the confusion, huh? Whew. Okay. On next order, Sprint has now scrapped plans for the Google's Nexus One phone. So Google is kind of striking out here, which is not good. Now, one of the things which most people, I'm sure, didn't know off the top of their heads, I didn't even know until I looked it up, but the Nexus One, which is right now available only on AT&T, excuse me, on T-Mobile and AT&T kind of, and I'll explain that in a second. You can only get that exclusively through Google. You cannot even buy it on the AT&T website. I went on there and checked, and it says go to Google. So, and it's $179, but if you want to get it for AT&T, you can, but you have to pay the full price of $529 and then go to AT&T and hook it up. So, pretty interesting. So, I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons why both Verizon and Sprint have scrapped this. I'm sure another huge thing is that the new Verizon Incredible, which I did a review on last week, which they named that perfectly because it does seem incredible. And the Sprint is coming out with the EVO pretty soon. That's going to be their first 3G, 4G that's going to work with the Clearwire WiMAX network. So basically, in a statement from some of these, from a couple of these people, these different companies, the Nexus One just isn't needed. And I think Google was really trying to get a go around the carriers by selling it themselves. So we'll see what happens with that. Just to give you some numbers, and these are estimates. They never announce the actual numbers. But the Nexus One sold right around 135,000 units in the first 74 days, the same time it took the iPhone to reach 1 million in sales and the Motorola Droid to reach 1.05 million units in sales. So obviously you could see about 10%. So it didn't quite do as well, and plus the fact that all of those phones, the Evo, the Incredible, and the Nexus One, are made by HTC. Again, these other companies are saying, you know what, it's just not needed. So I think that's part of it. And then lastly, I put a review, and I know we've had 1,000 reviews lately, but this is the iPad 3G. I thought it was kind of important because they did mention some specific things about them that I thought you'd want to know. So that's why I put it on there. Let's get into this just a little bit. And again, I'm sorry for reading, but I want to make sure I get these things right. The fact that you do have to pay another, as they put it, the good news is that AT&T have not seen fit to tie users into a contract where they have to sell their soul for 2 years worth of expensive data. The bad news is the users will have to shell out some $30 a month or $15 a month for what they say awful AT&T 3G coverage. I'm not saying that. That's what the article says. Now, one of the things I said is good is the fact that if you have the Apple iPad 3G and you're in an area where WiMAX is a better system, in that area it will automatically switch over to the WiMAX. The 3G will use up a little more battery time, so instead of the 10-hour time that you normally get, you'll get about 8.5 hours. So those type of things. If, again, as we said before, $15 for 250 megabyte option, $30 for an unlimited option. So a couple of things right there. They're saying, is it worth it? Well, of course, we talked about the streaming video over the 3G is hit and miss, and that's also what we said, because of some of the proprietary things with Apple, that they're not allowing full quality videos to be shown on their products. So that's part of it also. So those type of things. So you have to, one of the things that they were really concerned about, a lack of a physical back button, still strikes us as one of the most counterintuitive things for a modern computing device, mobile or otherwise. Indeed, as noted in our last review, it's maddeningly annoying, and one could even go as far as to say it's quite possibly the most irritating feature. So again, that's something that you have to decide. Again, so the advantage with, is it worth $130 plus $30 data? I mean, there's other options that you can do. You can set up, Sprint has their Overdrive 3G, 4G mobile hotspot device for about $100 and $60 a month, so you can set Wi-Fi wherever you are. There's a number of other Wi-Fi hotspot or instant Wi-Fi spots, again, ranging anywhere from $100 to $200, then a monthly fee. So they said, is it, in short, is it worth the money? They say yes, but one of the things, is it fair? They don't know if it's relatively fair, because iPhone owners who are paying for the unlimited data from AT&T may not agree that it's fair to charge another data plan. So they said it's solid, they said it works well, and if you have the money, the extra $130 plus the data, it is worth it, because not every place has Wi-Fi. So I hope that helps out. Again, read the articles, and I think you'll get a little more information from it. I hope I wasn't too boring today, and I shall see you tomorrow.